gente? It's your girl, Nina Montañez.
Hey, yo, what it do? It's your boy, Rue, and I'm coming for you. And this is...
SofritoSpeaks.
Hey, welcome back. Damas y caballeros, welcome to Season 5, Episode Numero 3.
Oh, we doing this, baby.
We doing it. It's a brick outside. If you haven't been outside today, then stay inside. Because...
it's like officially that cold that like it hurts your bones.
Te pica.
Yeah. Like it's mad disrespectful.
And I came out in a hoodie thinking I was good. I also cleaned my car in this hoodie. And as I'm cleaning the car, I'm vacuuming it. And I'm like, it's been 84 years.
It's brick out. Why did I decide to do this now?
Let's go into our first section, which is El Chisme. This is the part of the show where we let you know what had us fucked up, jodido, and everything in between. Start us off because I got to think about mine or whatever.
Bruh, can we just talk about how... y'all already know I left my little job or whatever at the Yimmy Yims,
right.
the gym. And I don't remember how much into detail I was in the last episode, but last week was yeah, definitely, because we were on, okay, I can catch you guys up. Cool. I gave my notice. It's not my fault Shorty was on vacation. My last day was the day she got back. Because, like, in my mind, like, this is how I justified it. And Ruben played a big part in me justifying this. Because I'm like, jobs don't give you 2 weeks notice if they're going to fire you. They let you work, like, up in their house, work your full time. And then that last day, they decide to send you packing.
They let you work your 8 hours so that they're covered.
You know what I'm saying?
And then when it slows down, they're like, can you come to the back real quick? And you're like, nah.
My whole spirit is, no, I rebuke you. We're not doing this.
I quit.
Right. So let me give you guys a tea and to let y'all know what had happened or whatever. So, she had pulled me.
Nope.
They had pulled me into the office or whatever, and we were like talking, whatever, and they're trying to tell me, you know, like my numbers weren't that good in November. And I was like, yep, because I work the shifts that nobody is coming in to sign up for memberships. But you don't believe me, but that's okay. And not only that, I was gone for like 2 weeks in November. So I didn't get any. Wait,
there's numbers?
Yeah. So like how many memberships
do you make commission off that?
No, we used to. They took it away.
So there's numbers for a job that's paying what?
Minimum wage.
Not numbers. Okay.
So anyway, sorry guys, I'm eating a cough drop for fun. So I'm like telling him like, well, I mean, you know, and my thing is like I went in there and like she was trying to like be a boss, and I'm like, that's fine and all, but like you're trying to intimidate me, and that's when I had an issue. That's when my body language shift. That's when my attitude kicked in, because I'm like, you're trying to intimidate me and it's not working. So we're gonna have to try a different approach.
Oop. Boop, 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 boop.
So I'm like, okay. So she's like, oh, these were your, like, you didn't meet this. Is there anything that I can help you with? And I'm like, no, because people just didn't come in on the shifts that I had. And like in my mind, I'm like, how about you like dive into like when these memberships were, what time these people are getting these memberships? Because a lot of people sign up either at the dead end of the day or at the beginning of the day. At the beginning of the week, or it's nothing. It's rare when someone walks in on a Thursday night and is like, I want to sign up for a membership. That I worked Wednesday nights, Thursday nights. A lot of people sign up for the gym Sunday. No, not even Sunday. Like Monday, because they want to start that day. Everybody thinks, you know, Monday is the beginning of the week. They want to start that day. But that wasn't the case for me. And she wasn't having it. She's like, well, I've worked every single shift. Mamita, you've been here for 10 years. I would hope that you worked every single shift. What does that have to do with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to be like, because again, y'all know I've been a manager before, and I had my staff's position at one point, and I worked my way up. And I would tell them, be like, yo, guys, I'm not asking you to do anything. One, I would not do myself. And two, anything outside of your job description. Y'all are forgetting, because my staff, when they came in, they were kids I used to mentor in the program. A lot of them, I gave them their first job, which is dope, like full circle, whatever. I love that I was able to do that. But so when they were slacking, I'd be like, y'all forget that I used to do your job? Like, I know there's something that can be done. At least look busy when I walk into the room. Like, come on. Because my thing is, and it's not even, it wasn't even me being nitpicky, me being whatever. And I'm like, yo, if you're genuine, like, this job is easy. We're working with kids. Like, you can give some coloring pages. They love doing crossword puzzles, make things. Like, in my mind, I'm like, if I can come up with a list of 5 things to do with them right now, I need 10 from you. You know what I'm saying? So, but for her, it was like, well, I did this and I did that. And I'm just like,
so do it
girl,
again.
this is a part-time job. This is not my full-time job. And not only that, I got the least amount of hours than everybody else. So I'm like, so you can't even compare what my working schedule to everybody else because I'm part-time and I get the least amount of hours. I think I got a total of like 15, 16 hours. Everybody else is working 30 plus. Ma'am, it's not adding up. It's not adding up. So she's like sitting there. And at one point when she was talking to me, I had a rebuttal. Every single time she had something to say, I had a rebuttal. And it wasn't disrespectfully. Like, she would say something, but like, oh, right. Well, listen, when I come into work, either if maintenance isn't coming in, I have to clean the women's locker room. So if I'm away from the front desk because you need me to go clean the bathroom, and somebody else, my coworker, is racking up memberships because they're at the front for the hour that I'm cleaning the bathroom, that's not even fair to say that I'm not meeting quota when I'm not even where I need to be in order to make that happen. And I'm looking at her, I'm just like, girl, come talk to me when you diversify your resume, because one, I'm older than you and you're telling me you've been here for 10 years.
Okay,
so that means you started when you were like in your teens, like maybe 17, 18, been here for 10 years. You probably were the last pick for this position, but because of seniority, they gave it to you because they didn't want to have to look elsewhere. And here you were. So mamas, diversify that resume before you talk to me. I don't know what to tell you. This is my part-time job. And then it's like, then at one point she like, damn near, she was dead ass rolling her eyes while I was talking to her. And I was like, you know, I could see you, right? Like, I'm sitting in front of you, sis. Like, I could see you. So I'm like, what? Like, what? You know what? Whatever. So, okay, here's the tea. So I walk out, whatever. And I'm on the computer. We have like computer set up. Obviously, that's how we do our membership. And I peep a screen that I hadn't seen before. It was an email with my name in it. Listen, God's still working on me, y'all. So I opened the email. And she was asking for my numbers for the last 6 months. Like, what are my numbers for whatever. What numbers I have been pulling in. And I'm reading the email, and then another email was sent 5 minutes after the initial email talking about, can we post a position for the front desk? Oh, yeah, I'm going to get in front of this before you try and fuck up my track record. I ain't never been fired. Thank you. I'm going to leave before that happens. So I literally, that day, I was like, yo, hit up one of my friends that works in a school. I was like, yo, do me a favor. Can you type up a notice for me and print it and send it to me? And she was like, yeah, I got you. Came in, handed it to me. I went, I put it on my boss's desk. Shorty was on vacation. I don't know what to tell you. She came back. It was my last day.
That part.
She came back. It was my last day. And I don't care. So I had to sign up. The only reason I was really staying there was because it was a free membership. Then I had to re-sign up. Now I have to pay for my membership. And she like hit the group chat or whatever and was like, make sure if she comes in, she signs up if she wants to work out. Like, she had a whole attitude. And I'm like, that's crazy, because when the other girl quit that we had, there was no animosity in the group chat. She didn't even tell us that Shorty wasn't even going to be working with us anymore. But it came to me and she had a whole bunch of shit to say in the group chat. Like, I wouldn't find out, mamita. Stop it. So that's a tea on that or whatever. But I got more. But you can. That's just on one job.
Oh, wait.
We're going to pass it over to you. Because now I have a new job and I work not full time. I'm still technically on payroll part time, but I work full time hours. We get paid hourly.
Oh,
And it's more money.
Me, on the other hand, this past, 2 weeks? It's been 2 weeks. This past 2 weeks, I haven't really been up to much. I've just been kind of working, and that has me kind of like drained. I've been kind of incognito to all my friends. I've been like ignoring them. But
be like that sometimes.
I'm mentally clocked out. It's the holidays, so I feel type of ways. It's also the end of the year for me, and I'm like, you know, I'm ready for the new year. I'm ready to do things and put things into play. But nothing has really had me fucked up besides that. I think it's the seasonal depression kicking in, having to stay inside all the time, and I'm like, This is ghetto.
Cause you was in them streets, honey.
Honey, I love being in the streets. Pure.
Once it got warm out, Ruben was like,
And
"You ain't gonna catch me."
I only have like summer clothes. Like I'm not.
He's not a winter bitch.
I'm not born for this. I love me some shorts, some nice booty shorts, a nice little tank top. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, tell us more.
Anyways, so my other job. You know what is super interesting? I like my other job. Co-workers are a little sketchy, you know?
Co-workers are just co-workers. They're not your friends.
Super, right. So I'm like super observant. If you've been listening, if you've been rocking with us for the last 2 years, you know this about me. I'm also introverted. But when I'm in the workplace, I don't like that awkwardness of when someone, like when a manager is like, oh, I need a volunteer to do this. And everyone just kind of stares at each other.
It ain't me.
But so I've been like, yeah, I'll do it. What is it that you need me to do? And it's like something like pricing or whatever. It's like something random, which is fine. I'm in a super calm, like peaceful place right now. So things don't bother me the way that they used to bother me. However, the things that still bother me, if I'm being peaceful, I'm minding my business, I'm doing what I gotta do. Don't come and talk shit to me about you don't want to do this. Like, you applied for the job, you took the job. I'm the last person you want to complain to because, again, I'm going to look at you sideways because you applied for the job, you accepted the job, you went through training, and now that you have to apply that training, now you have a problem.
You also don't have to work here. As I used to remind Starbucks employees, like,
you don't need to work here.
You can go. The door.
The exits are clearly marked. Thank you. You know, so there was this one girl that came over to me and she was like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And mi gente, I can't make this shit up. I dead looked at her and went about my business. I just like kept going. And then at one point she was talking to a coworker. It was like 3 of us working on a project. And I was working on the project because I
zoned in.
Don't care. I was just zoned in. I was like, all right, cool. So she was like, Shorty was like talking to other girl, whatever. I tuned them out, so I couldn't even tell you what they were talking about. But at one point, when I tuned back in, one of the girls was like, damn, Nina don't give a fuck. Don't speak on me. Don't speak for me. I looked up, I said, excuse me? And she was like, you don't give a fuck. And I was like, about what? And she's like, no, because you've been here talking this whole time and you haven't said anything. I'm like, oh, my apologies. Was the conversation directed at me or were you just talking in general? She was like, oh, we were just talking in general. I was like, yeah, mamita. So when you direct it at me and say, hey, Nina, insert whatever it is you have to say, then you have my attention. If I don't hear those words, I'm going to go about my business. That's just being honest. And she was like, yeah, but like, you don't even want to be in on the Chisme? And I was like, no, I don't know. Because here's my thing, people. This is my thought process. We're in a new work environment. I'm still learning all of y'all. I'm not going to key with you and be in on Chisme for you to go, I don't know, I don't trust you yet. You know, you got that coworker that you fuck with that you trust. I already have one. So we good. We good on that note. So this other girl, I'm like, no, I'm good. So
I don't even have that.
I don't, you're not going to catch me in anything because I don't want you twisting my words. I'd rather just shut up. I clocked in. I'm going to do my job. Like I've always said, I can be a worker bee just as long as management is leading the way that they should lead. Punto. And all of my managers have already demonstrated that they are about their job. They know what they're doing and they're willing to help people succeed. So me, calladita at work, bro. Doing my shit. She's like, yeah. And then this girl says it again. Yo, Nina doesn't give a fuck. And I was like, you know what's crazy? Is that I used to work with children, so I know how to tune them out. And I continued doing my shit. And she was like, I don't even think she was smart enough to realize I was calling her a child. That's the shit right there. Like, you weren't even smart enough to pick up on the fact that I dead just called you a whole child. Anyways, and she's like, yo, she has the other girls, because they're younger, wrapped around her finger, like these little, it's like, it's giving Regina George. And I could give a fuck less. I'm giving very much Janice. Like the outcast, don't give a shit. I wasn't going to say Katie because she ended up sucking towards the end of the movie anyways. I was more like a Janice, just minding my business, have little side comments, but I keep them under my breath. But then this same girl, we're chilling out, we're hanging out in the break room. She's looking at my nails. Girl, I need a refill. Might treat myself. But anyway, so she's looking at my nails and she's like, your nails bother me.
Oh, no. No. Now, listen, because the same thing happens at my job, and they're like, they'll try to start a conversation in a negative tone. Like I have this one clinician who literally will come up to me and just start spewing negativity, and I just look at her, and I literally had to tell her the other day. I was like, because she was like, I'm gonna complain to HR. Da, da, da. I looked at her and I'm like, do you, sis? And I walked away. Like I'm like, I don't care. Like, you don't have to work here. Nobody has to work here.
No one is forcing you to work here.
And don't come at me about my fucking nails. Like,
she was like, oh, because she was like, who does them? And I was like, I go to a local place. Why? And she's like, girl, she's like, I've been staring at them. And I was like, so then don't look at them.
I can't. It's the
so then don't look at them.
Right.
I'm like, yo, you're so ghetto, bitch. Shut up.
Instead of learning how to have a conversation.
So I'm like, minding my business, and then a couple of the other girls were like, oh shit, like they're looking at me like, oh, Nina does not give a fuck. I don't like, and my thing is like, I'm trying to be nice, just like being cordial in the workplace, because I gotta see y'all 8 hours a day. Bet I'm gonna be cordial, whatever. But to think that, one, your opinion matters, to give your opinion when it was not asked for, like that shit irks me.
It always kills me when people insert their opinion.
Insert your opinion, and then when somebody has a rebuttal, because I'm witty, I got a slick, quick ass mouth. So when you say something, I say something even faster back. Then you want to have attitude. Oh, you could dish it, but you can't take it. See, the difference between me and a lot of people is that I could dish it and I can take it, and I always have something else in the chamber. I never unload it. I always have one in the chamber. Just because I don't like how certain people move in certain areas. I don't like that my walls, like my guard has to be up. But at the same time, it's like, yo, people will try to drag you just because you're
people
at
will
peace.
Love you and support you when it's beneficial.
So I'm like, so whatever. So then she goes, she want to follow me on IG. I was like, yeah, sure.
Oh my God.
I was like, yeah, sure. Here you go.
Same girl.
Same girl. Add her. And I didn't, after people were exchanging Instagrams, whatever. And I was like, I don't really have anything to hide on my Instagram. Y'all want to follow him, hit me with a follow. I literally said to them, I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to follow back. Continue eating my snack on my little break. And they were like, oh, damn, that's mad real. I'm like, yep, just being honest. I don't follow everybody back. So then so I didn't realize that they stayed on my page scrolling through my shit. So again, minding my business, tuned everybody out. And I hear, damn, you look so pretty outside of work. And I didn't know who that was directed at.
I want to see a picture of this person.
You will do that after.
I want to judge.
So I'm like, okay. So then I look up and they were like, Nina. And I look up, I said, excuse me? She was like, you look so pretty outside of work. And then she shows me a picture of me. And I was like, girl, I look like that right now. What do you mean outside of work? My hair's just in a bun right now. My hair's down in that picture. It's not really that drastic of a difference, but okay. Continued about my business. She's like, oh no, but your eyelashes. And I was like, yep, the only makeup that I do is mascara. I don't use false lashes, none of that bullshit. I don't fuck with none of that. As every other female in the room is wearing fake lashes or got extensions. And I'm like, listen, y'all bitches want to keep coming for me? Bet. I'll empty the clip right now, fam. Locked and loaded. Let's go. Because I'm just like, because it annoys me. Because I'm like, yo, I'm really dead just sitting here minding my fucking business, fam. Just chilling. So I'm like, y'all are testing my patience. And like, I don't want to do this with y'all. Trust me, you do not want to get in the ring with me, bro, because I'm just too quick with it. And then it's like, you're dragging this person out of me, and I'm like, I'm gonna look like an asshole.
But it's the chasing your validation for me.
Right. I'm like, girl.
That just lets you know that your presence in the room is threatening.
Listen.
That part.
Listen. The amount of people that I work with that were asking me to give them direction, and I had to sit back and I said, hold on. Y'all don't think I'm a manager, do you? And they were like, well, aren't you? Nope. I just listened to them this morning where everybody needed to be, and I was able to give you that information, but I'm not a manager. People keep coming up to me like, oh, what do we need to do next? And I'm like, yo, bro, ask one of the managers. Like, and then I'm like, please don't let this be an issue, because the issue that I've had with other supervisors is that people are more apt to want to come to me to talk about certain things that a manager should be speaking on, but I'm just knowledgeable. and then it becomes the intimidation factor of like, who does this girl think she is? The whole time I'm just trying to be a team player, trying to take whatever I can off of your plate. Not a lot of people see it like that. It becomes a competition. So I'm just like, yeah, let me just, and the thing is that I went into this job super humble. Like, yo, like, Nina, we good here, but I can't dumb down the leader in me. That's just, I'm a natural born leader.
That's what I like realize. I'm like, I like jobs where I'm the leader because following is not.
I can follow, but at some point.
I can't. Because especially when the leaders are just fucking stupid, you're like, you really have no common sense whatsoever.
So it's just, listen. And then, oh my God, this shit gets better. Another person. So we're again, I'm working with a couple people. We're doing some things. My boss had walked over and she asked me a question. And I was like, oh, they're over here. They're doing this, and this. So it was like, I'm just proving to them that like, if an opportunity, I literally went into this job like, I'm going to level up. So if an opportunity presents itself, I need leadership to understand that I've done everything I need to do and that they can trust me in a different position if it happens. That's literally the mentality I went into this job with. Like, I'm going to work my way up. I could not tell you the last time I had that mentality. So she walks over and this freaking dude, and I'm just like, yo, why does it gotta be the motherfuckers from Lawrence being fucking ghetto and ratchet? Like, I'm from a different sector of Lawrence. I must be, because I don't understand. Like, in the workplace, I'm like, some of y'all just don't have common sense. Like, there are just certain things you don't speak on when your boss is present. Like, are we really doing this right now? So this one dude was like, yo, Nina looks like she will bang on a man and a woman. I said, excuse me?
But this is in the workplace?
We're at work, fam. We're at work. And I said, excuse me? He was like, nah, you look like you would lay hands on a man and a woman. I'm like, in terms of what? To pray for them? Because what? In terms of what?
Fighting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he was like,
I thought it was going somewhere else.
Oh, no. Because that's why I said, excuse me, the first time. I said, I'm sorry, what? And then he was like, you look like you would beef. He was like, you look like you would beef with a man and a woman. And I was like, that's crazy. As my boss is standing right there. So we're wearing masks. So I could feel myself getting hot. And like, I'm bright red because I'm embarrassed. Like, I don't want my boss being this little white girl from like, I don't know where, something. And I'm like, that's the image you really want to paint of people from Lawrence to this girl who has no idea of like what? Y'all are so dumb. And then I had another coworker that like co-signed what this person said. And he was like, yo, listen, because I be fighting. And I'm like, is this really a conversation that we want to have right now? So I had to be that fucking person. How old are these people? One's 27 and the other one is 19.
Who's the one that be fighting?
The 19-year-old.
Oh, child.
So I'm like, and I had to be that person. Like, you really want to have this conversation right now while we're at work? And I said it in front of my boss so that she knows I'm not with the shits. I was like, no, we're not doing that. So and then one of my coworkers called me out. He's like, oh, you've been really quiet the last couple of times we worked together. And I was like, because I have nothing to say. Do you need me to say something?
Why is it so hard for people to accept people who are just quiet? Especially in the workplace, I'm like, I've been the same way since I started this job. I've just been sticking to myself, and people are like, you're always so quiet. I'm like, I just come here for a check. I don't want to be
some benefits. That's it.
This is nothing else to me. This work is nonsense, but I'm gonna do it because I have to get a check. That's it. That's the only thing that I'm seeing. I'm
just like, listen, the way that, I don't know. So that has me fucked up. Like, individuals have me fucked up. I enjoy the job that I'm doing now. So it's just like, it's like super chill. And I'm just like,
you're growing and you're learning.
You know what I'm saying?
But I love that you mentioned like you're going into it with a mentality of like you want to move up. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, during like our training, there was a lot of people that spoke on how they started in positions like mine, and now they're like heads of this and heads of that, because the company looks for internal people to help them grow. And I was like, this is perfect. This is what I want. Beautiful. Now let me just do this for this frivolous stuff for a little bit and then work my way up. And if they open new stores in different areas, there's opportunity to relocate.
Okay.
Which I like, and I can just stay with the company. So that's a thing.
Well, that was a mouthful
It
of
was.
Chisme.
Because it had been 2 weeks, mi gente. It had been 2 weeks.
We're going to
I had to
close this
backtrack.
out and head over to our next section, which is...
Aye Bendito.
All right, everybody, this is Aye Bendito, the part of the show where we go through some local media headlines, any big media headlines, and kind of, discuss it a little bit or whatever. I want to start off with, obviously, the COVID count. COVID is very real. A lot of y'all are not wearing your mask. A lot of y'all don't believe in vaccines. It ain't for me to judge, but wear your mask at least. Damn. In the last week, we have gained 144 new cases in Lawrence, coming to a total of 22,419 COVID cases altogether, with a total of 258 deaths. I said deaths.
Deaths.
Did I say deaths? I feel like I said deaths, though. Okay. Anyways, yeah, if you don't want to catch Omarion in your
touch,
in your system, then I would suggest. Also in New York, the other day was the highest COVID cases.
Like 21,000
in one day,
in a single day.
Insane,
in Nueva
absolutely insane. What else?
Let's talk about this truck driver. This man got 110 years.
The video of him crying was so like, I just felt for him.
Because the brakes gave out. I'm terrible.
Wait, so
I asked the same question.
I'm like, is that
not on the company's,
the brakes just, give out?
The brakes gave out
how
or whatever.
Fast did it say how fast he was going?
I didn't look into it like that. But I guess so I asked that question, and it's like, if he owned the truck, then it's on him. Because a lot of truck drivers actually own their vehicles.
That makes that. I mean,
but that information I don't know.
Yeah. However,
it's just a heartbreaking situation. Like, you could tell he really is, he has a lot of remorse for what happened.
It's like, I get.
And it wasn't like, you could feel the sincerity in his message, And it's like, there are so many people that have done and been in those situations. Like, there was one guy, killed 4 people, drunk driving. His level was 0.24. And he got 720 days in jail after he broke probation, and he only had 10 years of probation. Ask me what color.
I was about to. Was he white?
Yep, he is.
I really just can't. Like, I get that he does need to be held accountable, but 110.
Okay, being held accountable 1,000%. But we've already seen with the Kyle, was it Rittenhouse case? This man was not held accountable, not one bit. It was self-defense, but you drove across state lines to insert yourself in something you had no business being in. Oh, to be a white man in America. It's such a beautiful thing. Beautiful. In my next life, I want to be a white man in America.
Their dicks are small.
You stupid. But it's just one of those, I can't even, because we've seen juries time and time. You know what? This is a thought that I had driving one day. Do they do background checks on jurors?
No, they don't.
Do they check the internet, their social media, before they pick jurors? Because if you have a group of jurors that are all racist, and let's say the way that jobs are looking for employees, social media. Let's say we open up a new can of worms for a new set of jobs that we can open up for people to look up jurors. And if you have posted or reposted any racist anything, you should not be on the jury.
They don't look at any of that.
It's ridiculous because dead ass. Not only that, when do we start kicking out judges? Like, it's time for you to retire, my guy.
It's a whole corrupt system, and
it's
I think
trash, yo.
The whole jury duty thing is kind of like, I think people are starting to realize, like, this is kind of pointless because they're literally just choosing 12 people, 12 whatever amount of people. Like, I remember the case for Ahmaud.
Arberia.
Yeah, and everybody was saying the same thing. They're like, how are they supposed to choose a jury that doesn't know about this case in America with the media coverage that this got? And supposedly everyone like attested that they didn't know anything about that. I'm like,
I would have been like, run all your feeds, because think about it. I'm like, I had friends send me the articles. I'm like, there's no way you're not getting the information.
Right.
There's no way.
Right.
There's no way.
White women, are you guys okay?
Shit.
Because I'm scared. Like I'm following these TikTok pages, and the amount, like the Karens out here, it's just getting worse. And I don't know if it's because it's being broadcasted more, but white women, are you okay? Is everything okay? Because I'm like, I don't understand why you guys are. I don't understand what it is with white women. Like, it's just over stupid thing. Like, somebody was cooking food in a parking lot. They were grilling. They were actually making a video. So the aesthetic of a parking lot, whatever, on their truck that is theirs in a public parking lot. And this white lady came out and just was flipping the fuck out, calling the cops, doing all of this. And I was just like,
oh shit, okay.
I sat there and I watched the video and I was like, I wonder if white women are okay. And this isn't a big media headline, but they should look into this. Like, what is it that is going
so for
on?
me, a lot of the things that I've seen, like people coming at white women on TikTok, is because like they're not understanding boundaries. One of the videos that I had seen, it was like this little white girl. She was like, white women, we could say sis, and it's like, no one said you couldn't say sis, but when a black woman, because this was the demographic that they were trying to speak on, when a black woman sets a boundary and says that you can't call her sis, respect that boundary. No one said y'all couldn't say it, but if somebody tells you that they don't want you to say it to them, you have to respect that.
Why is that? But that's so hard to understand.
Why is that so fucking hard to understand? Like, respecting people's boundaries, like, and then it's like, when you set those boundaries, then people are offended. And it's like, why are people so easily offended by boundaries that are being set? And then it's almost uncomfortable to speak up about being uncomfortable in certain situations. So it makes me so mad.
It really be, they really be on some shit.
Yo, like.
And I'm just like, I don't understand it. I don't, like, you've had everything handed to you. Majority of you have had everything handed to you. And even if you didn't, even if you were from the ghetto, like they love to say, I'm from the ghetto.
I'm from the ghetto. I that.
Could do that. I could talk like this or whatever because I'm from the ghetto. I'm like, you didn't experience the same struggles that I'm sure my brothers and sisters have experienced. So
solely based off of the color of your skin.
Because you got housing right away. You got you got food. You got.
Yo, did you see the article about the couple that had to fake that they didn't own a house to be able to get it appraised? So the appraisal or the realtor, whatever, what have you, that was supposed to come look at this, it was a black couple's house, lowballed them. So what they did was they were like, all right. So they switched. They had a white couple come in and act like if it was their house.
I saw an experiment like that though.
They had like I seen the article. It's probably the same thing. So they had a white couple come in and stage as if it was their house. It was whatever. They took down like the pictures, put up pictures of white people, blah blah blah, and they got everything that they wanted. Yo,
when I tell you that the system is built against us.
And people swear up and down it's not. That's crazy.
Anyways, we're going to close this out and head over. Actually, we're going to take a quick break. Caldero Talk.
Welcome to Caldero Talk, mi gente, which is the part of the show where we're going to dive into and discuss our topic. So with the holidays upon us, we are going to be discussing trigger warnings and forgiveness this holiday season because, as we all know, there's probably family members that we're not messing with right now. There's probably some questions that are going to be asked that we don't want to answer. So let's just dive into that.
Yeah, I think with this topic, I wanted to basically go into like what is some advice that you can share with someone who's about to walk into a family situation where they do have that toxic aunt or toxic uncle or even brother, sister, mother, father, any family member who's just going to come at you with some really wild questions, some really wild shit. And I think the generational gap between the older generation and this new young generation, where we're more aware of like certain things shouldn't be said. You shouldn't ask these questions because it's none of your fucking business.
Right.
And they're more like, well, this is how I start conversation. And you're just like, we don't have to converse.
That's where you had
what
me
we
fucked
came
up.
here for. Play
We
the
don't have to
music,
speak.
show me the food, shut the fuck up.
It's really that
So
simple.
what advice would you give to someone who's